Hey guys, I'm back with another sewing tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you all how I made this one strap shoulder dress. This is a one shoulder bodycon dress. So as you can see right here, of course, I have a dress that I already own that I am going to use as a template. A lot of my sewing tutorials are very easy, beginner friendly tutorials. So a lot of the stuff that I make come from things that I already own and stuff like that, just to make everything easier to kind of copy and duplicate and make your own stuff. So as you can see, I am basically just cutting around this dress that I already have, just to kind of have that same shape, that same size pretty much, and possibly have that same length kinda, but this is gonna be our template here. So once I have that cut out, I am going to take some fabric chalk and I'm going to trace out how I want to cut out the one shoulder sleeve or portion of the dress. I could have already cut that part to save just that little bit of fabric, but I don't think it really would have made a difference. But that was just easier for me to do it that way, so I can kind of see how I want to cut it and how low I want that scoop and everything like that. So I used my rotary cutter to cut that portion out. So now it's only one sleeve. So here is the bottom of the dress, and I decided to cut about 2 inches off just so that it wouldn't be too long. Like, of course, I used my dress as a template, but I didn't want the exact length. I wanted a little bit shorter. I could have went a little more shorter as well, but this was fine. So I just cut off 2 inches and decided to just go with that length. I'm not really sure exactly how or what the inches are for that length, but now after I did that, I am placing pins on the side, which is basically just sewing the sides of the dress together. That way we are, just making our dress come together and everything like that. So I'm using some pins here and placing them along the sides. And then once I finish pinning the sides, I'm actually going to take it to my serger machine and serge those sides together. Or if you don't have a serger machine, you can use your sewing machine and do a zigzag stitch. So as you can see here, I'm just showing you all that I am about to take it to my machine and sew the sides together. And then here I am going to be hemming the bottom of the dress. I think I might have folded it about maybe half an inch. That's pretty much all I need, or you can do a little bit less. But here I'm just hemming it and placing my pins And of course, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and do, I believe I did a zigzag stitch. You don't want to do a straight stitch, because then it will make the fabric stiff and hard to put on. So anytime you're working with stretchy fabrics, any type of knit fabrics, you want to use a zigzag stitch or some type of stretch stitch that will help the fabric and the thread work together. That way you don't have any threads that snap when you're trying to put them on or anything like that. So I'm going to be doing a zigzag stitch, which is what I believe I did, and that's why I also did or serged my sides together. But like I said, if you don't have a serger, you will want to use a zigzag stitch to sew those sides together instead of serging it, or you can use a overlock stitch, whatever works best for you or what's easier for you to work with. Sorry if I'm talking a lot, you guys. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and do a zigzag stitch. So here, as you can see, I did cut out a couple of strips which were about 1.5 inches wide. So what I did was I measured around the armholes and the neck hole of my one shoulder portion, just so that I wouldn't have to hem it and try to do a zigzag stitch, because that would have been a little bit difficult. So I cut out some strips which are going to equal around the amount or length of the armhole length all the way around and the neck area. Hopefully that makes sense, you guys. So this is called neck and armhole binding. So instead of folding it down and hemming it like I did the bottom of the dress, I decided to cut out some strips. So I'm going to sew those together. As you can see here, I'm going to sew those pieces together because I cut out 2 of each, and then you will see me ironing it together. So whenever I'm done ironing it and stitching it together, then I will connect it around my armhole and my neck band or neck hole area. Hopefully that makes sense for you all. I just felt that it was a lot easier to do it that way, so it looked more professional, and I wouldn't have to worry about trying my best to get the zigzag stitch to look neat on the dress. So right here, I'm just ironing it in half long ways. So once I have my strips cut, sewn, and ironed in half, basically what I'm going to do is first I'm going to take the armhole portion and I'm actually going to just pin that together, right sides together, and I'm going to pin it all the way around. So that is going to kind of be my substitute for hemming the armholes. I just felt like you can keep that elasticity and it looks more clean and professional versus trying to fold and hem it, because usually when I do it like that, I use a zigzag stitch, and sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. And you definitely don't want to use a straight stitch, because then it's going to be hard to actually have that movement with trying to put your arm through and have any movement with moving your arm. So I'm putting right sides together with my bands that I basically cut out, and I'm just going to pin that around. And I'm also going to do the same, of course, with the part that does not have a strap, the shoulder out part. But I'm not going to show that. I'm just showing the process for this because it is the same exact process. It's just, I feel like it's a lot better to do it this way. And if I'm not explaining it good enough, you can actually just search on YouTube neck hole binding or armhole binding. That might help you a little bit more, because I'm pretty sure there are videos that are dedicated specifically to that. So as you can see, I have it pinned, and I'm going to take it to, I think I took it to my serger actually, and I'm going to serge it in place. So once I have that serged and everything, that is what it's looking like. And then here is the strap part. So I'm going to sew that together, and the dress should be completed once I do that. And I'm just taking my iron and making sure to iron down those parts that are sticking up. Make sure to get any wrinkles out of my armhole and all of that, the neck hole area. And I just think it looks so much more cleaner like that too. So I decided that I wanted to add a pop of color to my dress. So I'm using this Rit dye, and I also added some dish detergent, and I want to say I added some salt, and of course I added some water as well. But you will see that in the sink I did wet the dress so it is damp, and I'm basically just going to spray it all over the dress. Like I said, I didn't add too much dye to it because I wanted to just be like a small little tie-dye effect going, which you will see, and you probably did see in the beginning of this video. So this is the final result of the one shoulder bodycon dress. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video, and be on the lookout for more sewing vids.